Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Priscilla and this is Dreams with Priscilla. On today's episode, we'll be discussing 5 questions you need to answer in order to assess how competitive you are in the labor market. And this is including the Nigerian labor market. Believe me, I'll totally understand if you are Nigerian watching this and you're giving me one very weird look like. Because really it is so sad how each year we have thousands of youth graduate into the already congested market without any hope in sight. And to make matters worse, the pandemic has further degraded the situation that if we used to have a date on hope, we could as well just add 10 years to that. Now, before you come for me, I am not a carrier of bad news. I am actually trying to let you know that despite all this, there are people who are doing well for themselves. There are people who are changing jobs and even turning down offers. Crazy, right? Yeah, like they say, this life no balance. And before you think I am a storyteller or a motivational speaker, believe me, I'm certain of this because I am opportune to be one of these people. Now, I'm a network engineer who recently relocated from Nigeria in an all-expense paid trip by my current employers. Believe me, it's a sweet way to travel. Now, I'm not saying I'm all made simply because I left Nigeria. Far from that. Although I can't help but state that I work for the best organization in the world. Feel free to argue this in the comment section. Actually, the bone of contention of this video is not about my current job. My mission is to let you see potential even within the Nigerian labor market. But you understand why my current job is such a big deal for me if you're anything like me, who maybe you have a whole lot of responsibility, people that look up to you, and don't have a potential source of income to start up your own business and be your own boss. And you understand why it is so important that you are at your A game in the labor market. Now, back to the bone of contention of this video, which is helping you see potential even within Nigeria. In my last 2 years in Nigeria, which is the last 2 years prior to my relocation to Ireland, I happened to work for 3 of the top tech organizations in Nigeria. In fact, it could have been more if only I could work 2 jobs at a time. Unfortunately, I had to turn down some offers. Now, this is not the catch. The catch is, prior to those 2 years, I could barely secure a job interview. Weird, right? Now, you may be wondering what changed. And if I had to answer that question in one sentence, I would say it was a craving for change that changed the game for me. The craving for change that changed the game for me. I think that was a good summary. But I'll tell you exactly what happened. Now, have you ever been in a situation where you're just thinking about your life, thinking about what the next move is gonna be like? Or a situation where you're in January and you're already calculating your budget based on March salary simply because January and February salary belong to the known companies. Now, if you've ever been in this situation, or if you understand what it feels like, then you understand the situation I was the day I decided that I was going to change my life. Now, what I did was I decided to go through a couple of job descriptions of job roles that I have always hoped to progress into. You know, jobs that I've always applied to and didn't get even an interview invite. Actually, the purpose of that was to pimp my CV. But during the course of this little research, I realized 2 things. First being that I didn't have most of the skills that these job roles required. And secondly, I realized there was a high demand for a particular skill. Now, if you're a network engineer, you understand what I'm about to say. At the time, I was just a transmission engineer. But this little research made me see that there was a high demand for IP and PLS engineers. And then I remembered that most of the IP and PLS engineers I know were earning even far more than I was in the office. And they didn't have the transmission background. So I thought if I could add the IP and PLS skill to my transmission knowledge, then I would even be hotter. And this was how I decided I was going to pimp my CV with the skills and the keywords from those job descriptions. Now, I'm not saying it's an ideal thing to do, but knowing the kind of person I am, I run faster when I have a goal to meet. I actually gave myself a 3-month goal to match up the skills in my CV and begin applying for jobs. I remember I couldn't sleep that night because the very next day I walked up to my manager and told him, I was moving to the IPMPLS team. Funny enough, there was always a vacancy in that department because there was a shortage of experts in that field. My manager now came up with this brilliant idea of, I think he also thought of the advantage it would bring to his team if he had a resource that with the IPMPLS knowledge in his team, since he wouldn't have to depend on the other team to get issues within their domain fixed. So my manager decided he was not going to let me go, but allow me do an on-the-job training for 1 or 2 months. And I think the OJT took about 6 weeks. Now believe you me, as soon as I started applying with all the new skills and keywords loaded into my CV, it was like the sight of IPMPLS and transmission in my CV was a huge turn on for all the employers, because they started getting interview invites right, left and center. I mean, both locally and international. It was like kilo day. Although not all the interviews I went for had a fairy tale ending, but as I continued to interview, I realized I was gaining more experience and even confidence at subsequent interviews. And believe me, this is how my journey began. Now, I've just given you a brief run through of the behind the scene of my last 2 years in Nigeria. And I'm hoping that my story not only inspires you, but serve as a roadmap for your own success. Now, enough about me. I'm going to go straight to the 5 questions you need to answer in order to assess how competitive you are in the labor market. But before I continue, I'd encourage you to please subscribe to my channel, because believe me, there's going to be a whole lot of helpful stuff like this that even if not you, but a friend might need. So please subscribe or share this video to as many people as you feel like may need this kind of tip. And you know what? For you to have come this far in the video, it tells me one thing about you, that you're a very smart person and you're ready to grow. So come with me as we go on this journey. Question number 1. How compelling is your CV? Now, to answer this question, you have to keep in mind that most employers now employ the use of algorithms. I think they are called ATS, applicant tracking systems, to shortlist candidate CVs. And if you have any background on programming, you understand that it has never been more important for your CV to be tailored to the job description. Because what these programs will be looking out for are keywords and skill sets. So it is so important that your CV is tailored to the job description. Meaning, for every job description, or for every job role rather, that you're applying for, you have to make some minor edits to your CV. Now, I'm going to do another video where I shed more light on this tip. That's why you need to turn on your notification bell icon so that you get informed whenever I share this video. And also, your LinkedIn profile. What are the odds that if the recruiter were searching for potential candidates for a role, is your LinkedIn profile catchy enough to, draw their attention? Now, I've seen a lot of profiles that are not updated. This person is currently in this job role, and what the LinkedIn profile is showing is different. Your LinkedIn profile actually shows how busy you are, so you need to make sure that it is updated. Question number 2. You go through job descriptions. We could approach question number 2 in 2 perspectives. The first one is actually closely related to question number 1, because if you're not going through job descriptions, then the chances that your CV is even aligned to the job role is lower. And secondly, do you go through job descriptions before going for the interview? Now, I've had a terrible experience at a job interview, only for me to go back home and realize that most of the questions that I was being asked at the interview was already stated in the job description. I mean, it made it even worse. Going through the job description before the interview could save you a whole lot of embarrassment or just feeling bad with yourself, and it could also help you get the job, because you need to see the job description as the employer practically telling you what they want. So you need to spend as much time. Don't just skim through the job description. You need to spend as much time to go through it and really understand what kind of personality they're looking for or the skill set they want, and that would really help you a lot. Question number 3. How much do you network? Thankfully, with a platform like LinkedIn, you don't have to go and physically meet someone to know what they have going for them. You could just look up their profile on LinkedIn, see what they have going for them. People who are doing well in your field. You could see their certifications or the skills that they know. Most people put all that in their CV because they are also actually hoping that someone likes what they see. You could use that for your advantage. See what people that are already doing well in your line are doing and try to see how you can copy that into your own professional life. Another thing networking does for you is you kind of widen your horizon for job search. I don't know if that's correct, because you are more likely to get insider information from the people that you are connecting with. And question number 4, how often do you apply for job roles? Now, if your LinkedIn profile is compelling enough to attract recruiters, believe me, you could get contacted by recruiters without even applying for the job yourself. Secondly, are you just sitting down waiting to hear that a company is recruiting before you go and apply? Or do you make use of job search sites like Indeed, Jobberman, job.com? I'll try to list a couple of them. These job search sites have made it so easy that you can actually search based on your preferences. Like if you're looking to travel, you could search based on the region, or you could search based on salary expectation, or the job role. There's so many advantages to using these sites. Now you have to be proactive about your job search. By using tools like this, you have the jobs looking for you instead of you having to be the one looking for the jobs. So with this being said, I move to the last but definitely not the least question of this video, which is, what kind of vibes are you giving your interviewers? Now to the ladies, when they say beauty gets the man but character keeps him. In this case, your beauty is your CV or your LinkedIn profile. Let's say you've happened to charm your way into their heart and they've invited you for an interview. Oh, thank God you finally got an interview. What kind of vibes are you going to give them at the interview? In case you don't know, most of the top organizations in the world actually believe that their employee contributes a whole lot to their success or play a key role in their success. So that's why they go all the way to look out for the best. Many of them look out for leadership traits in anybody that they are going to be employing into their organization. So when you are at the interview, what kind of vibes are you throwing at them? Are you letting them see that you are a very confident person? Now, a lot of people believe that confidence is about how you look, and so we go all the way to wear a suit or dress so cute for the interview. So many organizations don't even care whether you come wearing a t-shirt and a jean. They're actually looking for the traits that come from within: self-confidence and communication skills as well. In fact, I'm going to do a more detailed video on these points. So at this point, we've come to the end of this session. I hope that you find this useful to you, and like I said, I hope it serves as a roadmap for your success. And please feel free to drop comments or feedback or questions in the comment section. Maybe something you feel I should have added or maybe shed more light on, or just anything really. Thank you for coming this far in the video, and I wish you the very best as you progress in your career. Thank you.